Long before God created angel and man, he made the first beasts, the Leviathans.
Leviathans?
I personally found them entertaining, but he was concerned they'd chomp the entire Petri dish, so he locked them away. Why do you think he created purgatory? To keep those clever, poisonous things out. Now Castiel has swallowed them. He's the one thin membrane between the old ones and your home.
Enough.
Stupid little soldier you are.
Death, telling it like it is. That was, of course, a clip from the Season 7 premiere of Supernatural featuring Death himself, a.k.a. Julian Richings.
He's one of the most versatile and unique stage and screen performers in Canada, and today he joins us in studio. Thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
Is it okay if I don't let you touch me? Because I don't want to die.
Just be careful I don't do this.
All right? Yeah.
Okay.
Death is one of the most interesting characters, I think, on Supernatural and possibly on television today. What was it like for you to play that character or get behind that role?
Fantastic. You're playing the most powerful man basically walking the streets of Chicago. So
Yeah.
you just go with that and have fun.
Do you get strange looks, like just now that you've done this role, like when you get on a plane or something like that?
yeah.
Are people kind of like a little bit like,
Double takes
Yeah.
all the time. Should I shake hands? No, I won't shake hands with you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is it a meaty role? Not the first time you've played Death, of course. And is it interesting to play a character like that probably has a few issues going on?
Yeah, well, the thing is you don't have to play those issues. You just play against it. So you play the food, you play the humor, you play the affectionate telling off of Jensen, you know, that whole rapport.
Yeah.
So it gives you license to have fun, basically.
Well, when we last saw Death, which was or episode 1 of this season,
Yeah.
you know, the guys were pretty mad at you because they had bound you, you know, and you were pretty upset with them. Are we going to see Death come back again?
I think we might well. I can't say too much about it, but I think so.
Death's coming back.
I think so.
Oh, well, this is obviously you've done quite a number of roles in Canadian film and television. Tell me a little bit about your role as the hooded leader in Todd and the Book of Pure Evil.
Well, it's on space, obviously, and probably people won't recognize me because, you know, you have to see sort of my hooded face here because I play the hooded leader of a satanic cult.
Yes.
So I was in season 1, and my disembodied head is features in season 2. It's a great independent series that has just caught fire, and suddenly everybody's digging it and watching it.
We love it. I got to visit the set a few times, but I remember when we first picked up the show, I heard you were in it, which I thought was cool, and then I had to go and check the credits because I was like, where's Julian Richings?
It's true.
You had that hood, and you really lost your head at the end of season 1.
I certainly did. But good mouth acting.
What's it like acting opposite Chris Levins? Because obviously in season 1, that was who you had most of your scenes with. Was he a cool guy to act opposite? Because, I mean, you've worked with Samuel L. Jackson, Ben Kingsley, Kevin Costner. How does Chris Levins measure up?
At our best, the best of Canada, too. And he was hilarious and able to improvise and come up with stuff that just floored us. So, yeah, great.
Well,
on his game.
We definitely have big fans of yours who watch our show, so we have some questions that are coming from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's what they had to say. From Facebook, Leslie Bishop asks, what do you think of the Leviathan storyline for season 7 on Supernatural?
Well,
it's an interesting one.
It is, and it sure introduces a new element of danger for the boys, and it takes it to a whole new level, and I think some of the stuff that they've been relying on before is no longer there, so it creates a sense of unease.
Could Death kill the Leviathans? Because they're pretty badass. And I mean, Death has said before in Supernatural that he will ultimately reap God. So could he also reap the Leviathans?
I don't know, one-on-one, I don't know, but he is a force for balance and order in the universe, so he will somehow conspire to make sure that things are kept level.
Death is pretty badass, too. Veronica Miller said, do you think Death is going to help Sam and Dean get rid of the Leviathans and bring Cass back? We touched on the Leviathans a bit, but if we see Death again, could his and Castiel's story arc converge again?
Possibly. There's a bit of antipathy between the two there, and the fact that Castiel is more pretentious and a little bit trumped up. I think maybe they'll meet again, and Death will tell him what he thinks of him.
Yeah, cool.
Christopher Jorda wants to know, what type of acting training does Julian Richings have? He's really good, he says, and indeed, you have some formalized training.
Oh, yeah. originally from Britain. I went to, instead of going to the drama school, traditional drama school, I went to a university that was steeped more in a European culture of theatre, Grotowski, Arto, more of a physical form of acting. And,
Mime? Any miming?
A little bit of mime, just enough to get me by on a street corner.
Right.
No, and then we toured Europe and did a lot of very imagistic shows, and that's actually eventually why I ended up in Toronto on tour with an international production.
And you actually teach now in Toronto?
I do, from time to time, particularly at one high school at Wexford. I teach there, School for the Performing Arts, and I'll coach drama students.
Lucky
Amazing.
students,
Lucky
for sure.
students.
And Vanessa said, please let Mr. Richings know that he's one of my favorite characters on Supernatural. Thanks for bringing so much to the show. I think that echoes the sentiment of a lot of fans. Now, before we go, I want to ask you about a few projects, because you were, of course, in Man of Steel. Have you shot yet?
Yes, I've just been to Vancouver, and over a span of about a week, and shot a couple of scenes. I can't talk too much about them, but they were a lot of fun, and they were with Russell Crowe and Michael Shannon, and in a setting probably the size of a hockey arena, with an awful lot of green screen around. So I can't even tell you what it will finally look like, but I think it's going to be impressive.
Amazing.
But Zack Snyder directing, and you're on Krypton, right?
I certainly am.
You're on Krypton.
And I have to ask you, are you aware of the online campaign to make you the next Doctor on Doctor Who?
I've become aware of it, yeah, and it's gaining steam, and I don't know where it's coming from, but hey, it was my favorite show as a kid, so
you'd
I'm
be up
flattered.
for it?
Oh, well, I'm pretty flattered. Anyway.
Get on that YouTube campaign, people. And also, just quickly, we're going to see you in Bag of Bones, right? The Stephen King
Yeah, Stephen King movie that shot in Halifax with Pierce Brosnan. I went and did a couple of days on that, too.
Cool. You're the king of genre, sir.
You really are.
King of genre. All right, we'll keep the comments and feedback coming. You know how to contact us. There it is. We got it all.